can we be in our senior years as active as possible?
Absolutely. So I think सुषमा जी अपने श्रोताओं के लिए क्यों ये है कि क्यों कर रहे हैं ये कैसे फिट होता है. So I come up with a tagline. आपका tagline है गपशप between Shushma ji and Arun ji, you know, your health.
Yes.
And I'm adding to that you, your health, and the gap. So as I embarked on this journey, what became very clear to me that not only we have to share the science of why you get diabetes, why you get this, why you get that, but we also have to share, because in 2025, person is as responsible for their health as anything else.
Yes.
So that's why the theme, you, your health, and the gap. So the series really is part of that. And the other innovation we are bringing in our podcast and conversation is we will be very simplified version of what your responsibility, what your role is in that health.
That's right. It's your health.
Yeah, and nobody can look after it better than you.
That's right.
And other thing is that science, of which I practiced for 50 years, have come long ways in understanding human body, what we call physical body. But it's only half of the story.
Right, right.
So a lot of emphasis on that, which is very important. And I fully support, you know, it's been my livelihood and my bread and butter.
Right.
But I come to a shift in my thinking. And that's a shift that that's not enough.
Right.
We need to have conversation where we educate, empower, and engage people for their health on the basis of who they are, what lifestyle is.
Yeah.
So these are the things. And in terms of science now, pathophysiology, why you get a disease is one thing, and we have talked many times.
That's right.
But in terms of you and your health, again, science is becoming very sophisticated, and even guidelines are incorporating those. So this, what we talk about, is really a thing of the future, because more and more, and especially now with the technology, people are using technology. They get gizmos and they're monitoring their heart rate, they're monitoring their blood pressure, and they're monitoring their glucoses, and there are things around which will moderate your oxygen capacity, carbon dioxide tolerance, so the breathing, lifestyle, and not so far in future, it's also going to tell you when you have an urge, hey, don't, like it'll nudge you. They're
Yes.
developing apps and programs and artificial intelligence that it will work on that. So it's very exciting.
Yes.
But you have to have interest, you have to have commitment, and you have to have connections to know what to do, because with this also has come a lot of noise.
Yes.
And you have to be able to extract that out. So these programs have been with the hope that it will help a little bit. It's scientific and evidence-based. And we, again, have to put a disclaimer that these are not replacement for physician visit, but they're guidelines. So that's
right.
what this is. So today, we're going to talk about sleep. And in terms of lifestyle, we talked about food, which is very up high. Food is the one, people just eat food, but you have to recognize why you eat food. Because body is like a machine, a biological machine.
Yes.
You know, your computer needs energy, everything needs energy. Without energy, you can't go very far.
Right.
Similarly, body needs biological energy, which is generated by food. So that's really the connection, right? And this is why food is so critical, and we have talked about it, and I think we'll continue to talk because there's so much emotion attached to it.
Well, in our last program, we talked a lot about food, considering that, as you mentioned, food is the energy that makes
it's
us
50,
go.
I would say 50% is pathobiology, genetics, and all that. 50% is lifestyle for chronic diseases or to be healthy, feel good. Of that 50%, food is 50% of that.
Wow.
So then only 25% is left for other interactions and other interventions.
That's right.
So if you're going to do anything, if you get anything out of these, food is the primary.
Okay, so after food, obviously you've eaten, your body is, gotten some energy, but you also need to have some rest as well.
Yeah. So I think, like everything else, you have to have a charge, but you have to have a rest
Yes.
or recharge,
Right.
or look after it. You know,
Yeah.
and that looking after includes sleep, a very critical component, and all the information science behind it.
Right.
It also needs movement because you talk about seniors, and I am one now, and the biggest thing is the rigidity which body starts to feel
Yeah.
as you grow old.
Yeah.
And we'll talk about that, the only thing which helps is keeping it lubricated, keep
That's
it going.
right.
And it
Movement.
sometimes is very impossible,
Yeah.
but a little bit better than nothing, whatever the level is, right?
I've noticed, and you will correct me if I am wrong, when people get to a certain age, and in India and other places, warmer places, 55 to 65 was an age people would say, okay, chalo, bahut kaam kar liya, now I'll retire and ash karenge, aaram karenge. But that ash aaram becomes haram to a certain extent.
Yeah, and I think in old days, when you became 65, the degenerative processes was much more advanced
Yes.
than now.
Why do you think that was?
Well, because the constant inflammation, constant challenges, pollution, all that was constantly bombarding you.
Right.
And body didn't know what to do. But we have come long ways. In some ways, our society, and this is the dilemma, society as a whole is healthiest it ever been.
Right.
But the pressures on acute care and people are the biggest. Just like we have the most communications devices,
Right.
but the people are most lonely than ever.
Yeah.
So there is that nature control. You could have everything, but Mother Nature knows the best, and that's the
right.
philosophical thing which is. So sleep, exercise, emotional support. Those are the other three items which we have to and we have already covered.
Yes.
And we have, after sleep, we cover exercise and then emotional support.
So let me bring you back to sleep.
Yeah.
Okay. So sleep, it's related to science as well, right? I mean, how much sleep do we need? What time should we go to sleep? How much sleep should we have? And what is the best sleep? Does sleep relieve all the tension and stress and all the things related to that? So
Yeah.
let's start with
So
sleep.
fundamentally, sleep is a process whereby body is bringing a recharge to all the cellular and metabolic activity.
Okay.
Because when you are awake, not only you're doing things, your body is working at a certain level.
Yes.
So you need sleep to bring it down to a certain level, so then biochemically speaking, there is a rest period. So you have to give that rest. And electrical activity changes. A lot of studies have been done, different waveforms. And as a matter of fact, in Indus Valley, Vedic yogic science, of which I'm a great believer in, the word Om represents sleep. And like there are 3 cycles there. So sleep can be thought of, one cycle is awake. When you're awake, so your sleep patterns or electrical patterns in the brain are very different.
Right.
Then there is a deep sleep when you are gone, and then in between the different stages, electrical activity is very different. And then a dream state, when you're dreaming, electrical activity is very different. So to have a good sleep, you need all those components.
Okay, so let me ask you a question in between. When you're sleeping, deep sleep, light sleep, and then dreaming, is dreaming most important in sleep?
Well, I think sleep physiologists might say so,
Yeah.
but I am a firm believer
Yes.
that the balance and everything is important.
Okay.
So quality I think we should strive for balance.
All right.
Too much of this, too much of that, I don't think so.
Because I can't remember a dream that
Yeah, but the sleep devoid of dreams,
Yeah.
rapid eye movement of eyes, will not give you quality sleep.
Okay.
So quality sleep to have, because in that certain amount of electrical activity taking place, and that's demanding a certain amount of cellular activity. So it's nature's way to keep cells going.
Okay.
So I think from our purposes, important thing to say that sleep is like recharging, you must have it.
Okay.
So then your question was, okay, what do you mean by that? What do you mean by have sleep? Again, everybody is an individual.
Right.
There are general guidelines that you have to have this much sleep. Some people can get away with or cannot do anything unless they have good 7-hour quality sleep.
Yes.
Some people, babies, they sleep for 15 hours, the newborn,
right. That's right.
And then there are leaders like our Right Honorable Prime Minister Modi. He can function perfect with 3 hours sleep.
Wow.
So different people have different needs, so you are the judge and you have to recognize that. Most important thing on that one is the duration and the quality, that no point of forcing yourself to sleep.
Okay.
You have to be able to fall asleep naturally.
Okay.
And that leads to another question, how you do that, and we'll talk a little bit about it. But the point I want to make for our thing is that everybody has their tolerance, everybody needs a certain sleep, and you should know that. Generally speaking, it's about 5 to 7 hours good quality sleep.
Every day, if you can sleep 5 to 7 hours, and out of that, if 3 or 4 hours are nice deep sleep, you're okay.
Yeah. So I think that's what we have to do,
So what are the times? Should there be a time for sleep? Because our body and our circadian rhythm has got a lot to do with the sunrise and sunset.
You're really with a technical term, circadian rhythm. If I use it, you say, hey, simplify it. And here is my host using circadian rhythm.
So, do you want to explain that first?
Yeah, the cycles.
Yes.
Beside biochemical energy, body is product of nature.
Yes.
And nature is cycles. Sun comes out, sun goes down. Moon comes out when sun is down. And they all affect human body because we all have come from that cosmos.
Yes.
So there is a rhythm to it. And that's what is called circadian rhythm. And biochemically, your body produces different times, different things. So for example, cortisol, which is a major stress hormone, is highest at about 3 o'clock in the morning.
Okay.
And is lowest at about 8 o'clock at night.
All right.
So that is called diurnal variation, and you have to have that.
Yes.
So similarly, sleep, when you're awake, you still have the electrical activity. In a way, you could say brain never sleeps or mind never sleeps.
That's right.
It's the physiological part is sleeping. So when we say sleep, what we're really saying is that by closing your eyes and falling asleep, you're changing the physiological activity in the brain.
Okay.
And those are different, and they are cycles.
Right.
And when it's dark, you have to have a certain, close your eyes,
Right.
so you have a certain physiological activity, and that's what we normally say sleep.
Okay. All right. So I won't go into the other aspect of time change and all that which we are going through in our province and in our country. That is messing up a lot of people's sleep too. But having said that, if I come back to you and say the time of sleep, some people have a job which is from 8 to 5. Some people have a job which is from 5 o'clock till 2 in the morning or 4 in the morning. When should they be sleeping?
Yeah, because that just totally reverses the body.
Exactly.
And if I mention that cortisol in a normal person with a normal sleep pattern is highest very early in the morning, lowest. People who have night shifts, it's totally reversed.
Right.
So it's lowest in the morning and highest in the evening.
In the evening.
So those then have to sleep during the day.
Right.
Because cortisol plays a major role as an inducer and because of stress and everything.
Hmm.
I think in sleep, when I think of sleep, I say there is a physiology with sleep, electrical activity we talked about, biochemistry because cells are still functioning, and then if those don't function, then you have pathology, insomnia, not able to sleep, and all that, and they all play in it. So, important thing is for a normal person to use certain modalities so you get quality sleep, and that's very well understood. For example, you should have a routine. If you got used to going to sleep at 7 o'clock in the evening or 9 o'clock in the evening, that's what you should do. You not having a routine is the biggest disturber for sleep,
Okay.
and that's something totally in your control.
Right.
So you want to go to banquets and parties. If you do it every day, you're going to lose all your rhythms,
That's
once
right.
in a while. So just be aware of it. So that's the routine. Other important thing for sleep is eating and drinking before going to sleep.
Okay, how much before going to sleep
Yeah,
should you be eating?
ideally, and this is written in everywhere, you should have at least 3 to 4 hours to 5 hours before you go to sleep that you have your major meal.
Okay, not like Indians that have their major meal at 9 o'clock at night and go to bed at 10:30.
Yeah, I think that has so much, because we talked about biochemistry, body needs that rest. And if you are feeding the body just before you go to sleep, body can go to sleep because now it has to make sure that all that stuff has been digested and released and stored, and otherwise it's all waste. So generally speaking, the 3 hours, because sometimes it's not practical, so you have to be reasonable, but generally speaking. And so last big meal should be what people say before sunset, so 6 o'clock now, and if sun is setting earlier, because it gets into the circadian rhythm, you have to, and I fully appreciate that it's not possible because of the lifestyle and
Right.
the stress and all that, but as much as possible.
Okay, so say for example, if you can't eat at 5 or 6 o'clock in the evening, you eat at about 7 and then you go to bed at about 11, will that be okay?
Yeah, that I mean,
That works out.
but don't lie around in the bed, tossing around and stuff like that.
Okay.
Try to train, and then don't have very bright lights in the room.
Right.
The room should be dark.
Yes.
And the biggest culprit is this smartphone.
Yes.
And I think you should turn it off or at least not answer. That's the
Okay.
biggest disturber of sleep.
Does sleep in any way, because we're coming to about 20 minutes.
Yeah.
into
So
our
I think
program.
I just want to finish.
I want to
Workout.
ask a question and
Yeah.
you finish after that.
Okay.
So does sleep in any way reduce stress?
Yeah, they're interrelated. There's two sides of the same coin.
Okay.
Stress is a complicated biochemistry tied into all kinds of hormones,
Yes.
and sleep recharges. When I say recharge, there is a physiology.
Yes.
And one of that is that it recharges hormone, which then lower the stress.
Okay. Thank you for answering that, and now you can complete the sleep cycle and end it.
Yeah, and the only other things I would suggest is you talk about stress, and that was my point written here, less stress.
Yes.
Everything in less stress. Have some bedtime rituals, say some prayer, say meditation. Meditation is very important. Calmness, environment I already talked about, and try to avoid long naps during daytime and things like that because it disturbs the total amount,
Okay.
And if you are not sleeping and you have chronic conditions, don't wait, get some professional help because there is a lot of stuff available which you could do which makes you sleep. So I think in summary, our time is up. Sleep is very important. It's a recharge. Know your body, calculate how much sleep you need, quality sleep, and don't eat food too close to sleep, and have an environment which is sleep inducer.
Thank you so very much, Dr. Saab, and we complete our sleep portion here. We'll take a short break and we'll be right back.